I feel all the better for it. All right, so
baby, where were we?
My homie said this. I totally get why they want to reduce the amount of riders and improve the show. It's 100% the right thing to be doing. But why are they destroying 60% of the teams instead of just making it harder for individuals to qualify for World Cups? There's a lot of teams that won't make the 15+5 cut that deserve to be there. For example, X team can't retain its best riders, so their points leave them. So their points leave with them, which puts us out of the top 15 ranking, even though we finish top 15 to 20 every season. Enduro teams being included in the top 20 world gravity teams is bollocks. People like Yeti and Co get a guaranteed spot over others. Okay.
There you go. So that's real journalism you've done there. That's an anonymous source within the World Cup.
The Stig.
Wow, the Stig's coming in hot with some dropping facts.
There's literally lots to unpack there. I don't know where to start though, but there's lots to unpack there.
Yeah, please.
They've essentially, they're limiting the number of teams that can enter, which means, and this is kind of in a pity party way, but if you walked around the teams at Andorra and Ludenville, everyone's just walking around to each other like, what are you doing next year? What are you doing next year? Like people are flat out of jobs. It's not as though it's like this. It's like half of the teams are just like, well, we can't get together that amount of budget and this and that. And so it's all gone. You know what I mean? 60% of the World Cup teams are losing their jobs, which is kind of savage. Obviously, you have to be a little bit savage in some instances and stuff like that, but I don't think you really need to. Even I was chatting to Jordi Simo, who managed the Common Cell Schwalbe team. And they've got Dooley and Pau Manoy. And they came 11th and 12th at Worlds in Andorra, or 12th and 13th. Super good results. And their team is, I think, this is why, when I was talking to him, he was like, I don't know what's going to happen next year. We out of it. Because obviously, it's now entries is 30 grand or whatever to be a team. You've got to be within that top team ranking. And there's going to be, I think, a few more races next year. So if you that guy, you've got to go to your sponsors and be like, right, I need now double the budget or whatever. Yeah. And this guy that just did an insane season, he wants more money now as well. And so a big point I want to make is it's quite not the best time to be making expensive changes to the World Cup season, because the mountain bike industry is doing a savage market correction after COVID. If you talk to any bike brand, they're not we got loads of money kicking around. There's such a, everyone's got too much stock and this and that. After COVID, everything is really shaken up. And then now a lot of big brands don't have a lot of money to go splashing around World Cups and stuff like that. So
no.
To do these changes now is, I think, just a little bit premature in terms of you need to go to the, I don't know, Canyon or this or Comsol and be like, I need more budget, more this, more that. They're like, dude, we've got the lowest margins we've had for the last 2 years. We're trying to
stock.
Literally so much stock. We're trying to trim down, you know what I mean? So that's one thing where I'm it's not the best time to be making, not the best time to be making expensive changes.
You said as well before, other sports, for example, if they're going to make big changes like this, totally change the sport, you put a plan in for multiple years.
Yes.
Our source also said that apparently they came to the teams with an 8-year plan, which no one's ever seen. So again,
I haven't even heard of an 8-year plan.
But apparently that's what they were saying. There's an 8-year plan for the development of the sport. And this just seems a bit draw a line.
Yes.
We're making massive changes.
So
when the industry can't probably support it.
No, I think now's not the good time for the industry for expensive teams. No. Not the good time. I was waiting for a whatever. It's quite ruthless for me, a rider like me, let's say Adam Brayton and I, or let's put us in the same kind of bracket, not on a team, fairly good, can do some decent World Cup results every now and again kind of thing. For me to make the changes for next year is ruthless, because for now you've only needed 40 UCI points or whatever to enter a World Cup. So I've got 40 UCI points. Doesn't really matter. I'm in A practice. It's not a concern of mine to go chase UCI points. I have sufficient to race World Cups.
Yeah.
Whereas now, then they're okay, next year you need to be top 50 or in an elite team to race a World Cup. It's September. How do I go UCI point hunting now? You know what I mean? I'm for Brayton and for 2 years now, kind of in them, well, yeah, you didn't get any points between 30th and 60th. So if you qualified but didn't make final, you didn't get any UCI points, which is quite weird. Like, yeah, you should get at least a few UCI points from 30th to 60th.
Yeah.
And so for like Brayton and I, who don't race, well, I mean, IXS Cups and French Cups and this and that, like, I'm already trying to do everything between free ride and hardline and World Cup and everything. So like this year, it was obviously not a focus of mine to go chase UCI points. And then in September, they're like, no, you need to be top 50 in the world to race next year. And I'm like, well, give me a year. Give me next year, then I'll go do IXS Cups, European Cups, German Cups. You can plan it. And then you can go get enough UCI points to race. But like to in September be like top 50 or a UCI elite team, boom, go. And like, yeah.
What is the vibe like if you speak to some of your sponsors now? Are they like becoming half out of all of this bullshit? Of like, you know what, actually, Theo, just don't bother, dude. It's not benefiting us. It's probably not benefiting you in a way.
Yeah.
Like
literally when I did my contract, I think this is what you're asking. I did my contract negotiation with the Commensal, and he was like, look, we love having you at the World Cups, but like, Amory's got it, you know. like we love having you here. There's sometimes some nice things, but like we don't look to use your value being at the World Cups. You know what I mean? So like, but even like our race support Commensal kind of like gypsy Commensal race support team, that's folding for next year because they're like basically Commensal. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but like a lot of their teams are folding because they obviously did have like 5 teams, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but
it's
like
wild.
They're folding a whole bunch of teams, so they give more budget to the muck-off team because that's going to be more expensive and that requires more money. So they're like folding half of those teams to add budget to that.
Which makes sense.
In a way.
You can't have endless money.
Especially not at this time.
It's true though, isn't it?
Also, you're talking about yourself and Brayton, who, you know, you offer massive value to brands outside of it, but people you're racing against don't necessarily do that. Not at any fault of their own. They're trying to race World Cups.
Yes,
and like,
yes.
I understand you are as well, but you're like, you know, you've got all this other stuff going on. Same for Brayton. You're like personalities. Everyone knows who you are. So, yeah, it sucks for you, but like all of the field around you as well, like.
So that's why everyone was like talking to me like, what are you doing next year? What are you doing next year? And I was like, luckily I've kind of diversified myself enough that World Cup racing's not like my only pillar. I do like hardline at Arkfest and backyard battle and this and like, so do like enough events in enough variations that it's not as though if you take away World Cup sponsors are like, well, cheers, pal. You know what I mean? Yeah. But for almost like, I don't know, so many riders, it's like, okay, now you are out on the street, like, there's so many riders who are really good on, let's call them B teams, who are just like, well, like, I mean, like top 20, 30 at a World Cup is ruthlessly hard.
Yeah.
And they are just like out of a job next year, you know what I mean? Like half of the pits is gone. Yeah. And I also don't think that's a great idea because downhill is one of the few sports where that variable can result in something so amazing. Like it's like not a sport where Max Verstappen wins every single race and it's quite boring. It's like, could be somebody's home track. They could be like really good where they're like, and somebody who you've not really heard of puts down a smoke show and they're like top 20 or whatever. Now that person will never really be able to enter. You know what I mean? Like, so it takes away that like kind of cool story of wildcard riders having incredible runs and things like that.
For me personally, used to watch it for that. I like the top 60 finals.
Yes.
In a way, because it's like all these people are getting TV time, which is obviously great for their career. But someone could have had a bad quali and then they're coming down, I don't know, 40th. And, and they end up in the hot seat for ages. That's actually sick.
Jeans guy.
Jeans guy.
Stories like Jeans guy, yeah.
Danny Hart at World Champs. I know it's a little different, but Danny at World Champs was like in the hot seat for ages.
Yes.
So that sort of stuff, I think personally, as a viewer and as a fan, was cool.
Yes.
I liked it. I don't want to just see 30.
Yes.
I don't know. I liked it a bit more of it, to be honest. But
no, me too. I also preferred it when qualifying is a bit easier to get into.
So let's just go through what it means then, because I think this is quite important. So what it means to be a top 20 team. Like, what does that actually mean?
I don't actually know this. So
okay.
I'm all ears.
All right, so I'll just go with this article because it's really good.
Shout out to Pink Bike.
Big shout out. the WBD World Series teams, I guess that means Warner Bros. Discovery, will be limited to just 20 for gravity racing, with 15 of these decided based on the year's World Cup team standings at the end of the season. I guess that means this season. The remaining 5 teams will be picked based on a wild card scoring matrix. More details below. Okay, so 8 UCI mountain bike teams will be offered per event invites to World Cups. So that means that you could just get offered, I don't know, Leger, right? We've got 8, and they reach out to these teams who say, do you want to come? Which is crazy to think how on earth you'd budget that.
Yeah, I'm also interested
Figure
to
out
figure out how
travel,
that
like
works.
find all, yeah.
So are those teams top 8? Is that what we're talking? Sorry.
No, they're just random.
They're random. Okay,
yeah.
got you.
They're
Yeah.
not in the top 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So 8 UCI mountain bike teams may be offered per event invites to World Cups, but with these invites not guaranteed more than a month before a race, it may be hard for these teams to secure similar funding to what they can gather this year with a guaranteed spot at World Cups. All right. So
Wait, did they mention that? Like they say, it might be hard for the teams to find budget.
Yes.
That's pink, that's pink bike though. That's not.
Sorry.
That was the
Yeah,
flight deck.
sorry.
I was like, yes, it will be.
So our Stig had an insight on this. Okay. So, and there's a interesting thing in this. So 8 non-wildcard. This is from him. So 8 times non-team wildcard entries per round. Imagine trying to run a team, get sponsors, sign staff and riders, and all you can promise is, oh, we might get an entry, and we know if we can race 6 weeks before, which isn't 6 weeks, it's actually a month before each race. Also, social media following influences it, which is mental. So one of the criteria for them selecting these 8 teams is based on social media followings.
Whoa, that's like Black Mirror.
That's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a bit sad.
I'm not a fan of that.
No.
So you have like a viral video. Hey, Theo, those monster girls you're hanging out with. You want to come to the next World Cup? It's
Kind of cool,
actually
though.
might be my entry to a team, dude.
the Dan Bilzerian of mountain biking.
All right, I don't mind that one. The social media point, yeah.
That he's so right. Like, how the hell do you go to your team, your whatever brands the previous year? Be like, could I please have some money? We have 6 riders that might race. You may as well not have a team. You've got to guarantee the races. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Already now, you're going to those sponsors and saying, we're going to do the races. Maybe we can have a good result. You can't be like, maybe we can have a...
Maybe we'll even be there.
Yeah, maybe we'll even be there. That's insane.
Okay. So...
Okay, so to do the opposite and trying to find a positive, let's say you're already one of the top 5. You know, I'm trying to think of the route to this.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're one of the top 5 teams, or you've got like top 5 contenders every IXS round, European Cup, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe then you build your budget around that, and then you have like these like, look, we might do Andorra as well. So it might be a common sale team, and then they go, okay, we're going to try and race Andorra. There's 8 places. We've got a podium rider at European rounds.
We're posted on socials.
I'm trying to think. I'm honestly trying to like almost reverse engineer like what they're thinking.
Yeah, it's hard to think, isn't
Also,
it?
the social media thing's absolute rubbish because you can just sponsor the pants off of posts and get followers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, you know, you can...
Makes no sense.
Yeah, you can...
Yeah, that is weird why they've put that in there, isn't it? Like about social media.
You can
following.
literally sponsor posts and like do weird stuff.
That'd be
Change
cool.
the aspect ratio.
Dude.
make it like...
Might get Snoop Dogg racing World Cup.
Yeah,
Quite sick, yeah.
Just like hook to a video.
Yeah.
It's like just jumping on trends, just trying
Teams
to
are
get
just
an
be
entry.
making memes and things flat out.
Just all the IXS teams are just insane social media profiles. Viral videos, TikTok dances.
All right, so just to go back to the article, just so we can carry on. Yeah,
This is good, Davey. You're a journalist, dude, right now.
I don't think so.
No,
okay, so unlike the current team system, the internal document from Warner Bros. Discovery proposes team limits for the World Series team with a minimum of 3 riders and a maximum of 10. Of these riders, a World Series team can only enter a maximum of 4 riders per category per race. So, as far as I understand that, these teams can build out a roster of 10 riders, but they can only enter 4 of them for downhill and enduro. So it's a combined thing. So they're expecting teams to have a combined
So now, they
downhill and enduro.
They want all the teams to have combined teams, like enduro and downhill in one thing. Some teams it kind of works, like Pivot have kind of already got enduro downhill, but then like, let's say Commonwealth, they'll have to, I don't know if, I think Commonwealth's enduro team might die at the end of this year, actually.
Syndicate?
Just because of that. Syndicate, like...
No enduro?
Yeah, no
so
enduro. So you have to, like, combine things and stuff like that. I think it's also important to mention how many cool teams are B teams. You know what I mean? Like,
mate, some of the coolest.
Some of the sickest teams are B teams. Danny Hart's GT this year.
Yeah.
He's a B team with
Norco
that GT.
is a B team.
Yeah, Norco's a B team, and they've got an A budget. But like, I mean, Danny Hart, where did he come out? Fourth at Worlds this year. His team can't enter the World Cup. You know what I mean? So like, there's so many B teams that have had Lockie is on a B team. The Union. B team. They can't enter.
I could go. Aaron Gwynn has a team, which is a B team.
Aaron Gwynn did incredibly well at Ludenville as well. Like, all of those standout rides and like
the stories.
The stories
get invested in.
Then and it's also
frameworks. Another
frameworks.
One.
Yeah, dude, that's B team as hell. And no, sorry, Nico O'Malley, that wasn't the tone of that. That is so B team, and they've had such A results.
Yeah.
What's it? Asses put up the most gangster post the other day, wearing world's jersey. Overall leaders jersey, American national champs jersey. Which jersey should I pick today? Kind of thing.
Dude, who doesn't want to root for the underdog as well? It's not like Loic comes down and you're like, go on, Loic. I think Loic's sick and I want Loic to win, but it's not. It's hard to get behind like the top three every week.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
You want people to do good, don't you? And when you see someone sat on a hot seat, you're like, oh my goodness, is he going to hold on to it?
Yes.
This is what is exciting about the sport. Unfortunately,
everyone wants to make it Formula One, but it's not Formula One. We're racing on a bloody dirt track where there's so many things different.
Where no one can watch it.
Corners disappear and huge crashes happen and crazy results, of that, if you know what I mean.
And no one can watch it.
One of the points.
So what are we playing now?
Does it go on to that in here?
One of the points. So basically, a lot of the information I got is actually at Ludenville. I was walking down the track, a track walk, quite late in the day, and Rurid Cunningham.
Yeah,
Rurid. I don't know how you say his name.
I think you say Rory.
Rory. It's a Scottish name or something.
Yeah.
He was walking up the track, and I was like, "Right then, pal."
Okay. Hey man, what an episode that was. You did amazing in it.
And so did you.
You shone like a star.
You shone like a moon.
Can we also put something up here that you can click on for the next episode?
How about we put a subscribe up there in the middle?
Yeah,
we're going to put a video we think that our lovely companionship will love on your face.
On my face?
Yeah.
And they can't see me now?
Gone. And on my face, another video that we think people will love. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please hit like and subscribe. You guys are the best.
Peace and love.